Be ready. 5 seconds.
Yes, sir. I do agree with the government and the Honorable Minister. The fact that there was an emergent situation due to the COVID 19 pandemic that resulted in lockdown. This ordinance was promulgated on 31st of March 2020. Relaxation to certain provisions of the Act specified in the ordinance related to direct taxes and indirect taxes is highly required as there is COVID-19 pandemic and an absolute lockdown was declared by the Honorable Prime Minister. The people in the country are not able to comply with the provisions of tax laws due to lockdown. Therefore, some relaxations or extensions for the compliance of various provisions of tax laws are highly essential, and hence there is a justification in the promulgation of ordinance. I think that this is the first time in the House I am justifying the promulgation of an ordinance because I fully agree with the government and the Honorable Minister that there are certain exigencies and an extraordinary situation prevailing in the country because of the COVID 19 pandemic, whereby the people are not able to comply with the provisions of both direct taxation and indirect taxation laws. But what is my objection, sir? I do have a very strong objection to certain provisions in the ordinance. I would like to highlight it. The ordinance makes substantive amendments to 8 different acts. It may kindly be noted that 8 different acts being modified means substantial changes took place in 8 acts, and one of the major acts is the Income Tax Act of 1961. Regarding Section 4 of the ordinance, I would like to explain it as it is dealing with the PM CARES Fund. Sir, yesterday also, during the time of introduction of the bill, this matter was elaborately discussed in the House. I need not repeat the arguments raised by my learned friends yesterday. I cannot understand the logic to have a separate fund. We have a similar fund which is Prime Minister National Relief Fund. What is the difference between the Prime Minister National Relief Fund and the PM CARES Fund? Further, this fund is exempted from the Comptroller and Auditor General, which means there is no CAG auditing, for which no reason is stated either in the bill or in the ordinance. Why is there no audit by the CAG? There is nothing mentioned either in the statement of objects and reasons or anywhere. What is the reason by which government is evading the CAG audit? I would like to seek the clarification from the Honorable Finance Minister. Sir, both the funds have tax exemptions. What is the distinction? The main distinction which I would like to say as per my information is about the donation to PM CARES Fund, counting the company's mandatory corporate social responsibility contribution. Suppose a corporate is contributing to the fund, that will be counted as their mandatory corporate social responsibility contribution. Suppose at the same time you are contributing to the Prime Minister National Relief Fund, it will not be counted. This is my knowledge, it is subject to correction. What is the resulting effect of all this? The companies are getting a double benefit of tax exemption. That is my strong objection. How is it possible? On the one side, you are getting CSR exemption because, as per Corporate Social Responsibility Act, 2% of the annual profit has to be spent on fulfilling corporate social responsibility, and on the other, you are getting income tax exemption also. So you are getting a double benefit, and there is no such exemption as far as Prime Minister's National Relief Fund is concerned. This discrimination is illegitimate and there is no logical sense in it. That is the second point which I wanted to make. I submit that donation to the central government should not be counted as mandatory CSR contribution since income tax exemption is already given. Another point is that the fund lacks transparency. It is not audited by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Further, even Right to Information Act is also not applicable. I may be corrected if I am wrong. Many petitions have been filed seeking information on the total amount collected so far, the amount distributed so far, the norms and conditions based on which fund is disbursed, etc. For all these queries, the answer people are getting is that the Right to Information Act does not apply to the fund. So, lack of transparency and accountability is the major issue, and I would like to highlight that. It is quite unfortunate. The fund coming into a controversy immediately after its commencement in itself is not a good signal for the fund. That is another point which I would like to make. Besides that, there is a total lack of transparency over the use of the fund. The allegations of favoritism in the spending of the fund are particularly of concern. Further, the fund is opaque regarding the amount of money collected, names of donors, expenditure incurred from the fund so far, names of beneficiaries, etc. The Prime Minister's National Relief Fund provides information annually on donation and expenditure made out of the fund without giving detailed breakup of numbers. I do accept that there is no detailed breakup given as far as PMNR fund is concerned, but annual report is being given. However, the PM Cares Fund's trust deed is not available for public scrutiny also. That is quite unfortunate. When we are having the PMNR fund, when we are having an auditable, accountable fund, which is transparent, what is the need of a special fund? That is the question which we are asking. Sir, now I will come to Section 8 of the Ordinance. Section 8 of the Ordinance is same as Section 7 of the Bill. Regarding amendment to the Central Goods and Services Tax Act, a new section is incorporated by which the time limit prescribed in the Act can be extended on the recommendations of the GST Council in respect of actions which cannot be completed or complied.